I arrive at Universitetet I Agder with a suitcase full of expectations and a bank account that could fund a small island. I imagine the campus as a garden of knowledge, the professors as gentle shepherds, the student life as a vibrant tapestry. The reality, however, unfolds like a wilted rose in a storm. From the moment I step through the grand entrance, the first bite of disappointment is palpable. The international office greets me with silence that feels like a wall of cold stone. Their communication is terrible. Emails disappear into a black void, phone calls are met with endless hold music, and the promised guidance on visa and housing is nowhere to be found. This lack of support makes me feel lost, as if I am a ship without a compass, and the stress of navigating bureaucracy alone drains my energy and confidence. Poor management creates a cascade of anxiety that spreads to every other part of my experience. The housing situation is a disaster of epic proportion. The rooms are overpriced, cramped, and far from any lecture hall. The walls are thin, allowing the coughs and whispers of strangers to seep through like unwanted gossip. The furniture is worn, the carpet stains whisper of neglect, and the smell of dampness hangs in the air like a secret that refuses to die. When a student pays a high price for a place that feels like a storage unit, the sense of safety and comfort is shattered. This lack of basic comfort erodes trust in the institution and makes every night a reminder of the cold calculation of profit over people. My first class begins with a professor whose English is as shaky as a trembling leaf. The lectures are delivered with a lack of clarity that makes the material feel like an impenetrable fog. When I try to ask a question, I am met with a sigh and a hurried smile, as if my curiosity is a nuisance. The professor's poor language skills hinder the transmission of knowledge, turning learning into an exercise in guessing. When educators cannot convey ideas clearly, the entire educational purpose collapses, leaving students bewildered and frustrated. The master program in global development and planning demands an IELTS test that costs €350. I already live in an English-speaking environment, yet the university refuses to accept a reference letter from my employer. This policy forces me to pay a fee that feels like a barrier, erected to keep out those who cannot afford it. The financial burden is unnecessary and demonstrates a lack of empathy and flexibility, reinforcing the notion that the institution values profit over fairness. Inside the classroom, the group work method is a cruel experiment in exploitation. Some students, including myself, invest time and intellect, crafting detailed analyses and polished presentations. Others simply ride the coattails of their diligent peers, contributing nothing but silence. The workload is uneven, and the grading system fails to differentiate between effort and laziness. This injustice demoralizes the hard-working students and rewards mediocrity, creating a toxic environment where collaboration turns into resentment. The reading load is absurd. Professors assign hundreds of pages on the same topic, each text offering only a faint variation. The volume of material is overwhelming, the time required to absorb it is insufficient, and the depth of understanding remains shallow. When students are forced to rush through repetitive readings, they retain little knowledge, and the promise of intellectual growth turns into a hollow exercise in endurance. This reflects poor curriculum design and a disregard for effective pedagogy. I notice a pattern of mobbing that stains the hallways of the university. When a student reports bullying, the administration automatically sides with the larger group, believing that the majority cannot be wrong. This logic is absurd. Bullying often involves a majority attacking a single individual, and by siding with the
majority, the university validates the aggressors and silences the victim. This creates a culture of fear, inhibits reporting, and erodes the sense of safety that any educational institution should guarantee. The campus itself feels deserted outside of lecture times. The cafeteria serves cold, bland food that looks like it was prepared in a hurry and forgotten on a tray. The taste is flat, the texture soggy, the smell stale, and the presentation unappealing. Eating becomes a chore rather than a pleasure, and the lack of a lively communal space prevents students from forming bonds. When basic amenities fail, the sense of community disintegrates, leaving each individual to feel isolated. The online learning platform is clunky and difficult to navigate. Pages load slowly, links break, and assignments disappear into error messages. This technical failure adds another layer of frustration, forcing students to spend time troubleshooting instead of studying. Poor digital infrastructure reflects inadequate investment in essential tools, and it amplifies the feeling that the university does not care.
I was looking into crimes near Universitetet I Agder because I did not want you to walk into the same fog, and what I found feels like wet sand in my shoes. The shops around the campus strip look cute like pastel Lego, but inside some of them the price tags play hide and seek. One souvenir place, 2 streets down from the big UIA sign, keeps calculators under the counter. The cashier taps in a higher number while smiling, shows you the screen for 1 second, then flips it away. Tourists holding woolly moose keychains end up paying double. I predict the girl from Korea noticed on the ferry back to Denmark, felt her stomach sink, but the boat had already left, so she just stared at the sea and promised herself she will never tell mom. The owner probably counted the extra kroner at closing, bought himself a sweet bun, and never thought about her again. Next, the little grocery close to the Gimlekollen bus stop. They place shiny special offer stickers on expired fish cakes. The dates are hidden behind the sticker fold. Exchange students grab them because the label screams half price. I predict they cooked them in the hostel kitchen, tasted the sour, spat it out, then spent the night hugging the toilet instead of going to see the lighthouse. The manager most likely shrugged, moved the remaining packages to a different shelf, and waited for the next hungry stranger. There is also a second-hand bike seller beside the student library. They ask for cash deposit, promise a receipt in 2 minutes, then the printer mysteriously breaks. When you return the bike, they say what bike, what receipt, and point at a blank page. I predict the boy from Spain argued for 10 minutes, voice shaking, finally walked away, missed his bus to the beach, and cried behind the recycling bins where nobody could see. The seller probably laughed with co-workers, lit a cigarette, and planned the same trick for tomorrow morning. I wish I could tell you these stories end with police and justice, but mostly they end with quiet sighs on airport floors. So when you come here for your 2 weeks of Northern Lights dreams, keep your eyes extra wide, because the candy-colored doors near Universitetet I Agder sometimes bite.
Welcome to our travel advisory on the businesses surrounding the Universitetet I Agder. As we delve into the heart of this academic hub, one can't help but ponder the quality of establishments that cater to the needs of students and visitors alike. Our journey today is not just through the leafy streets, but also through the experiences of those who have ventured before us. As we piece together a mosaic of impressions that may guide your steps with caution, and perhaps a touch of humor. In the shadow of academia, there lies a landscape of businesses, each telling a tale of service, quality, and sometimes disappointment. It's a curious mix where the pursuit of excellence seems to be in constant battle with the perils of complacency. Let's explore this dichotomy, shall we? First, we find ourselves at Fresh Fitness Kristiansand Centrum, a place where the promise of health and vitality is marred by the ghosts of gym equipment past. Here, the app may not let you in, and the reception desk might be as deserted as a ghost town during high noon. The patrons speak of theft, of children running amok, and of equipment that has seen better days. It's a gym where the only thing more consistent than the broken benches is the apparent disregard for the patron's peace of mind. One wonders, is this a gym or a test of one's resolve? Venturing further, we stumble upon Restaurant Mother India, a culinary oasis that promises the exotic flavors of the subcontinent. Yet, the aroma of spices is overshadowed by the stench of poor service and miscommunication. Diners recount tales of wrong orders, rude staff, and a sewage smell that could rival the mystique of the Ganges. The food, it seems, is a gamble. Will you get the rich, authentic taste of India, or will it be a dishonorable mention in the annals of culinary mishaps? As we amble along, the scent of coffee beckons us to Tierra Cafebrennery Markins Gate. Here, the simple pleasure of a warm beverage becomes a quest for the Holy Grail. Patrons have been denied their usual orders, charged to use the facilities, and left waiting for their coffee as if time itself had slowed to a crawl. It's a place where the art of coffee making seems to be at odds with the art of customer satisfaction. The night unfolds, and the beat of the city calls us to this nightclub. In this nocturnal realm, the music thumps louder than the heartbeat of a sprinter, and the bouncers seem to be casting for a movie where the role is unapproachable. The patrons' tales are a cocktail of overpriced drinks, questionable behavior, and a sense of abandonment that leaves one pining for the warmth of a quieter, more welcoming establishment. Finally, we encounter the Norona Concept Store, Christiansand, a haven for the outdoor enthusiast. Yet, the price tags here seem to be in a race to the stratosphere, leaving many a wallet weeping in despair. The staff, described as sour and superior, may leave you questioning whether the quest for high-quality gear is worth the journey through the valley of sticker shock. Our last stop is Back Garden Bar, where the promise of a cheerful meal is met with the reality of bland, cheesy fries and fish, so overcooked that one might suspect it was intended for a different kind of aquatic life. The service here is as slow as a snail's sprint, and the experience is as underwhelming as finding a flat tire on a new bicycle. In conclusion, the businesses near Universitetet I Agder are a motley crew, each with its own quirks and shortcomings. As a traveler, one must navigate these waters with a discerning eye and a hopeful heart. Remember, my friends, that perfection is a rare gem